I've been performing live since I was 13. I've been getting paid for it since I was 14. It's never just a straight line up to the top. It's always, getting shot down and then getting back up again, and then maybe you get a little bit of a boost and then it gets dropped.
Yeah.
I was kind of starting to pull myself out of a place in my songwriting where I was kind of censoring myself, and I was kind of going, I don't want to write about this thing, or I don't want to sing about this thing because that means it's real, and that means that that's something that I have to address. It was completely instrumental in my kind of journey with my mental health. It was a song where I just started writing it, and I just decided I'm not going to pull myself back from saying anything. I'm just going to say exactly how it is, exactly how I'm feeling right now.
Welcome to the Crescendo podcast. Today's guest is an artist whose music blends emotional honesty, cinematic storytelling, and an independent spirit that feels both intimate and powerful. Over the next 3 weeks, she will be one of the people who is leading a fundraiser supporting War Child alongside Hot Vox, running from May 21st until June 12th, if I'm correct. Featuring live performances, special events, and a headline online broadcast recorded at War Child Studios in London. Is that correct?
Yes.
I know. I'm being picky. Sorry. We're going to talk about that a bit more today. We're going to talk about her music, and we're going to be talking about everything that's happening around performance, songwriting, and everything that's coming next for her. So, Eva Reardon, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. I'm like cutting every single part, but yeah, I was trying to pronounce her name like so many times. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, take this as a video, as a lesson to like read people's names before you interview them. Yeah, the first time we chatted about like your music and stuff, I think I found you on Instagram, like as you do, your video just pops out. Yeah, we were chatting, and then you would right. We were talking about this fundraising thing, and it was with War Child, and I was like, that's pretty big because,
Yeah, so it's the whole fundraiser is with Hot Vox, which is a promoter in London, and they have a connection with War Child UK. So it's not like the big releases. Like I think that Olivia Rodrigo did one recently, which was great, and which was really lovely song. It's separate from that. It's primarily Hot Vox's thing, but they have a relationship with War Child, so they do a thing, I think, over the last few years called Hot Vox Rising for War Child. And the whole premise of it is putting grassroots artists at the center of fundraising for War Child UK. It's a national competition as well, where, if you raise the most money, or if you're in a certain top number of people raising money, then you can get the video that's recorded for the broadcast. You can get that shown to agents and festival bookers. And there's also things where you can win a festival slot, and you can win studio time at Puzzle Factory. So that's the full thing. And a couple of months back, they asked me if I would be interested in doing it. I said yes. And then as part of my fundraising, I decided to kind of turn it into a whole event and try and do 3 gigs in 3 cities in 3 weeks, a little mini tour around the northwest of England, stopping first in my hometown of Rosendale, then doing a watch party of the broadcast with some live music in Liverpool, where I'm based, and then doing one last show in Manchester, which is the headline with my band and more live music supports.
Yeah, that all sounds great. Like it's so exciting because you had 3, different kinds of, events as well. I think the first one you're doing is all by yourself, and like you're just doing
Yeah, so
your own
it's
thing.
so the first one in Rosendale, it's at the Horse and Bamboo in Waterford, which I grew up going to. My birthday was close to Halloween, and they always did like this Halloween market thing, so we went all the time. And it was a puppet theater before it became more of a music venue, and now it's got all sorts of stuff going on all the time. Yeah, it's a joint fundraiser for War Child and also the White Horse Project, which is a local youth charity, which they have loads of different events and clubs they put on for young people in the Rosendale Valley. And I did some work with them before Christmas. I did some songwriting workshops with them and their young people. And so when I was looking for a support for this show to play, I thought of the White Horse Project because they have a youth band. So the youth band is going to be supporting. And then there's also going to be an opportunity for a kind of little raffle or tombola thing where as well the White Horse Project can raise some funds.
Yeah. And nowadays you just find so many ways to do like fundraising, and like it's not just the shows. Like if anybody of your fans or like any of our listeners want to come and like, oh, it's too far or it's too busy or not, they can still do the online stuff, which
Yeah,
will be coming out soon.
that's the thing that's really great. It's very accessible. You have, there's the online broadcast, which goes live on the 28th of May at 8 p.m. And then that will be available for anybody in the world to watch up until midnight on the 12th of June when the link will go down. And that's the amount of time we have to raise as much money as possible. But it does mean that, people can engage with the fundraiser from wherever they are. And there'll be different personalized incentives at the donation link. So I think it's donations starting from £10 where you can get certain little tidbits like handwritten lyric sheets, written explanations of a song and like all of the meanings behind it. There's a merch bundle. There's a bunch on there. I can't even remember everything that's on the list. One of them I do remember is if you donate a certain amount of money, I will make a difficult phone call for you. So there's a few there's a few silly ones
Right.
in there as well. But it'll be fun. It means it's very accessible. It means you don't have to be in the northwest of England in order to support the fundraiser.
Yeah.
Um, the thing that's nice about doing a fundraiser is, I've been able to engage with my community and
Yeah.
reaching out to people, but it means I've been doing a lot of pitching. I've been doing a lot of, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we want to achieve. Will you help me? Or what can you offer to help this fundraiser? Which has been really nice in terms of feeling good about humanity, because I've had so many positive responses to me asking for stuff or asking for like discounted venue prices so that as much money can go to the fundraiser as possible. And like one place that's really, really gone above and beyond is Artifact, which is a cafe and music venue in Liverpool where the watch party will be. But Jane and James, who run that, they have helped me with everything. The ones that told me to go for it in the first place.
Yeah.
They've helped me with hand making my own t-shirts to sell as part of the fundraiser, and just generally like anytime I've been like, oh, I need this thing or I need this space, they've gone absolutely come on over. So they've completely opened up their space and their time and everything to me, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, what's the idea with the shirts? Like, I'm watching all the reels and like it's just talking about I'm finding shirts everywhere and like trying to make my own shirts. Like, what's the idea? And like, was that your idea or just something?
So it was one of those things where I'd been meaning to do it for ages. I've been meaning to start making t-shirts to sell at gigs and, have something else for my audience, the people who come to my gigs, to engage with and to take away and remember. And then it's like, I feel like this fundraiser has kind of kicked me up the arse for a lot of that stuff. So I've been meaning to make the merch for ages. And then again, Jane from Artifact mentioned that they make their t-shirts with a lino print that one of their friends made. And so I got in touch with her. She's called Jess Swainson. She's a fantastic artist based in Liverpool. And she made me some lino prints of the Night Owls logo. I picked up some fabric paint in town and then went to Artifact to, Jane showed me how they do theirs, and I got all the t-shirts because obviously I'm trying to run it on a budget, trying not to I'm trying to invest in the fundraiser, but not so much that
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
to move out of my house, you know? Like, and I also want it to be as sustainable as possible. You know, I didn't want to have to buy a bunch of t-shirts from like Primark or something.
Yeah.
So I remembered going to a gig a couple years ago at the Deaf Institute where there was an artist called Molly Coddled playing, and they made all of their merch from a bunch of stuff they picked up in charity shops. So I thought, oh, I can do that. That ticks all my boxes. It's not expensive. It's something that I can do easily in town or wherever I am. And it's not just contributing to more fast fashion. So yeah, I got those. I picked up, I think, around 15 in charity shops. My goal was to get 20. And then again, Jane and James gave me some that they weren't using. And then I also got a couple from like friends and family and things.
Yeah.
So I've
Great.
ended up with 21 t-shirts that are now in the process of printing. I did most of them last week, and now this week on Wednesday, I'm going to finish them all off, ready for the first gig on Friday.
Yes. That is so fun. I need one now. That's the problem.
I know it's nice as well because it's again, it's a kick up the arse for me, but it's like it's a good way to gauge how interested people would be in merch, is making
Yeah.
a fairly small amount, selling them over 3 gigs and seeing how well they do.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, if they all sell out at the first gig, I've got a problem. I need to make more. But yeah, no, I get it's a good way for me to gauge interest and see how much I need to invest into this to get something.
I need shirt number 1, unfortunately. So, if there's a way I can get shirt number 1, literally
Shirt
put
number
number
1,
1, shirt
the
number
first
1, yeah. I
I just
want it.
print on it, number 1.
No, up to you. Up to you. Limited edition, whatever. I'm not
Limited.
I'm gonna put it on the wall. I'm joking. I'm gonna wear it. Well, if I do if I ever get it and I do any ads for like the fundraiser stuff, right, I will be wearing it. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that'd be fun.
That'd be sick.
Oh, this whole kind of project for the fundraiser thing as well. It's not only your project. It's like there's other artists as well for playing for Hot
Yeah.
Vox and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So, yeah, Hot Vox Rising is a whole event in itself,
Mm,
and,
mhm.
my fundraiser is just a small part of that.
Yeah.
There's loads of artists doing fundraisers or who have done some, and I'm sure there'll be more coming up. Yeah, so that's definitely one to watch, especially if you're looking for more grassroots artists to get them
Yeah.
on bigger stages and get them better
Yeah.
opportunities.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, have they always like kind of helped you or like other people to get like your voice heard in like a bigger scale kind of thing, or
You
and
mean
have the hot yeah
yeah. I This fundraiser is my first time working with them, but I found them to
mm,
be really supportive and really helpful and just generally really kind. And the first phone call that I had with them, when they were saying, this is what the thing is, would you be interested? We were on the phone for like an hour or so, and it was really lovely. And the person I've been in contact with is Kai, and she's amazing. And she's just been so helpful and responsive and receptive to any of my questions about how things work. Yeah, no, they're
yeah.
fantastic.
Would you like to say anything else about the band stuff? Yeah, you're gonna have the whole band gig. That would be fun.
Yes, yes. So, the band is joining me on the 28th of May, which is the wash party in Liverpool. They're going to be helping me run the event, and then I think we'll also do a short set after we watch the broadcast, and we have some like networking opportunities as well. And then they will be in Manchester with me on the 7th of June at the Rose and Monkey. Which is gonna be so much fun because as well, we've been gigging together since March 2024, I think, and, we've done a lot in Liverpool, but we haven't really made it out yet, so it'll be really
Yeah,
exciting to gig in Manchester with them, and hopefully that will go on to get us more opportunities to go over there.
so fun. You just need the energy of like people being around you, especially when you're kind of like solo artist, like you need
Yeah,
people
yeah,
around you.
absolutely. And I mean, yeah, no, Casey and Viara are fantastic. There's
Mm.
Casey Hamer on bass and Viara Ivanova on drums, and they are just fantastic. They are completely obviously they are fantastic musicians, but they're also just such lovely people that I can write about quite personal and kind of brutal stuff, but I know that when I bring them songs to put backing behind, I know they're gonna take it and they're gonna treat it well, and they're gonna put all of their energy into representing that song, as it should be. So I always feel like very safe and comfortable kind of talking about the stuff in the songs and working out what's what with them because they make it so easy.
I mean, like even the name of the band, like even that people get confused. Like, is it Eve and the Night Owls or Eve or Orion and the Night Owls? Or
It's kind of both. It kind of depends what we're doing. Depends how big the poster is, you
mm,
know? Um, I have a couple different logos for them. I have the Night Owls logo, which is, the purple owl that actually Casey designed. And then I have one that's a bit simpler that's Eva Rid and the Night Owls that's just some text. Yeah, so it kind of depends. I feel like when I talk about it, say even the Night Owls, or I say just the Night Owls
mm,
locally. But yeah, so it flips between the two. But most of the time we're even the Night Owls, unless I need to put
yeah.
it on a poster and then we're
Oh
even
yeah, that'd be
the Night
tough, isn't
Owls.
it? That's a bit tough, especially for the one for the fundraising as well. Like the whole thing is just like smack your whole name there and Night Owls. Like, okay, fun. I like. So you said the band came together 2024. And how
Yeah.
was that then?
Yeah, so I asked them to play in I think it was actually at the end of 2023, which was during my second year of university in Liverpool. And yeah, Casey I met at the audition for my course. So I'd known her for a while. And then Viara I met just at a gig, I think. I think I went to go and see her band play. And then, I said to her, I'm looking for a female drummer if you would be up for it. And she said she would give it a go. And then she's been here ever since. Yeah, but it's yeah, we started playing together then. We had our first gig at Round the Corner in Liverpool supporting Red Shakes, I believe. He was on a UK tour. And that was really cool. And that was a really nice way to start. Um yeah, but I had these songs, and I've been playing solo since I was like 14 or 15. And I hadn't really had many opportunities to play my songs with a band. And I'd done loads of solo stuff. And then it's kind of getting to the point of like, okay, now if I want to go to the next step, I need a band. So originally it was Casey and Viara and also Ethan Kaluro on guitar, but more recently it is just the three of us because I play guitar as well, and Ethan is super busy, booked and busy, producer and guitarist. But yeah, now it's my little girl band singing sad songs, so it's pretty good.
Singing sad songs, but your songs are not that sad. You know, no, you know what I'm saying? You
They
know,
vary, they really vary, and as well, I feel
yeah,
like it's important to me that when I'm producing them, that the people who are like lyrics oriented people. Like I love lyrics. That's the thing I'm strongest at. That's the thing I listen to in other songs is lyrics. I want the people who will, focus in on the lyrics and the people who will just listen to the music as a whole. I want it to be enjoyable for both of them. So I kind of try to arrange the songs and produce them so that if it's a sad song, it doesn't necessarily have to sound sad. It doesn't have to be stripped back. There doesn't have to be a melancholic piano or anything.
yeah.
Although some of my songs do have that. But yeah, I want there to be kind of a bit for everybody to find in that music and to resonate with and connect with.
And like, I mean, I listen to it, and like, it's so it's not well, it's easy to hear, easy to get to, and that kind of thing. Was that always been the case? Like when you create something that you want people to relate to, but also like you want people to just kind of drift into your music, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it's it's a fine line to walk along as well in my songwriting, where, you know, I'm writing about my life and my experiences, but also trying to make it something that people will relate to, and people will connect with, and, you know, people will want to scream the lyrics at gigs and things,
Yeah.
and connect in that way. No, it's a fine line to walk along.
Yeah. And did they meet and did they like kind of work together with you when you recorded like the two songs that you released in 2025? I think it was Crying Wolf and Inhaler, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. So they, Casey and Viara, were behind and are behind a lot of the arrangements for the songs, because, you know, they write the bass parts and the drum parts, and Ethan still sometimes writes the guitar parts. Actually, he still sometimes works with me in production. But yeah, no, they are behind a lot of it. Mascara, they played. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did the drums and the guitar on Mascara, and it was a part that had kind of been written by a couple people over the years, and then they ended up playing on it. And then Crying Wolf, they definitely did the arrangement on that with me. Uh, you know, because all of these songs before they're recorded, you know, we play them live hundreds of times. So yeah, they did a lot of the arrangement for Crying Wolf as well, and then Inhaler was a joint effort of me and Ethan. Actually, I got like a one-off, you know, cheap day in a studio where they're like, we need to book this in last minute, so we're giving it away for cheaper. So I just went in. It was me and Ethan. Jack Walsh was the engineer, and then also my lovely friend Haven Sellers, who is a violinist. And we just went in and we recorded everything in one day. And then, yeah, Jack mixed it over a couple months, and then we released it in April 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That must be a kind of, well, sudden but very exciting kind of experience doing that. Like, it was just like,
yeah,
oh, there we are. Like, yeah, it's a lot of luck in this, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, so much of how the industry works currently is based on luck and who you know, and not much else. You know, it's the kind of thing where, unfortunately, like, talent isn't playing as much of a role. And
No,
yeah, and it's not even to say that the people who become successful aren't talented, but it's just there's so many more variables at play now with the role of social media. Everything is about algorithms, everything is about, you know, hooking people in the first 3 seconds of a video so they'll stick around for the rest of it because people's attention spans are so short. Like, there's so many more variables in play than
yeah,
there was like 20 years ago, less than that, you know? There's a lot of
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
post COVID that's had an
Post
impact.
COVID, yeah.
Mhm.
And the best thing about now is that you can just have your own music and produce your own music. Like I've spoken to so many people already in this podcast, and they're all like, during COVID, I was bored. During during COVID, I needed to earn something, or I just wanted to learn something new and that kind of thing. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Let's talk about the two songs then. Like I know a lot of my viewers haven't listened to your music before. So what's the difference between Crying Wolf and Inhaler in terms of not the music side because we know that's different. But what what's the difference in between like the feeling and like your initial ideas for the two songs?
Yeah. I mean, the songs were written only a few months apart, really. Crying Wolf, I wrote in the summer before I moved to Liverpool, before I started university. I was I was cat sitting for my sister. And
Right.
I'd brought my guitar with me, and I was just feeling honestly just awful. And
Mm,
I was kind of starting to pull myself out of a place in my songwriting where I was kind of censoring myself, and I was kind of going, I don't want to write about this thing, or I don't want to sing about this thing, because that means it's real. And that means that that's something that I have to address. So Crying Wolf was, you know, it's not only, one of my favorite songs that I've recorded, and still it's my favorite song to play with the Night Owls, but also it was completely instrumental, no pun intended, in my kind of journey with my mental health, because it was a song where I just started writing it and I just decided I'm not going to pull myself back from saying anything. I'm just going to say exactly how it is, exactly how I'm feeling right now. And yeah, that was Crying Wolf. It kind of just came out of me during an evening where it was absolutely boiling in Rosendale and it was like too warm and I was uncomfortable. And then as well, I was feeling shit. And it's like everything
Yeah.
I did. And then Crying Wolf was the result. And it was a song that I didn't play to people at all for a very long time because it felt too close to me, and it felt too intimate, and yeah. And then one evening I played it for my boyfriend, and he said, that's a brilliant song. You need to play that, because I think that's also a feeling that people will relate to, and I think you're not alone as you think you are. Yeah, so that was Crying Wolf. And then with Inhaler, I wrote that one, I think, a month into living in Liverpool and being at uni. It was everything kind of happening around that. It was kind of a reckoning in, moving outside of a context that you've lived in for 18 years.
Yeah.
Figuring out who I was going to be and who I wanted to be when I was just stood alone by myself. And, at the same time, I was in the process of being diagnosed with depression and general anxiety, and as well ADHD. I think I was diagnosed with ADHD a year after I wrote Inhaler. And it was just a lot of figuring out why my brain worked one way and why it didn't.
Yeah.
And yeah, figuring out who I was going to be and how I was going to have to work alongside with my brain, because this is who I am. This is who I have to show up as. Yeah. So as two songs, they're very interlinked in the mental health aspect as well as like the timeline. I think with Inhaler was one. I think the key difference with them for me is that Inhaler, almost as soon as I wrote it, I was playing it. I was already in a better space where I was like, I know that there are people that are feeling this way too, and that I can share this with them, and that might make their day a bit better. As Crying Wolf, when I first wrote it, I was so just hanging out in my own head so many, like all the time, that I couldn't really look outside of it and look at it objectively and go, well, actually, first of all, it's a good song. Second of all, I think there's stuff in here that people can relate to. And, even if I can't help myself right now, maybe I can reach out to someone else through this song, and maybe that can help them on their own journey.
Great explanation for two songs. I mean, I loved it so much. No, honestly,
Yeah.
because no, it sounded great. People should be getting that on the fundraiser, written explanation. Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah.
is actually one of the incentives that you can get when you donate, is you can get written explanation of any song. I won't hold
Yeah.
back, because I love lyrics and I love talking about my lyrics, because I always try to fold in like a million different things. English was
Yeah.
my favorite subjects in school. So when the teachers were like, the curtains are blue and it's a metaphor, I was like, oh my God, the
Yeah.
curtains are
The
blue and it's a
blue.
metaphor. This is crazy.
I love English as well. Growing up, the second language, but it felt like a first language, I guess.
Mm,
Because family was talking English every day.
yeah.
Uh, it's crazy. And the amount of words. Like, what's your favorite lyric from any of your songs?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Speaking of English, yeah.
I know. I'm like, no, but it's that thing, when like someone asks you what your favorite film is or something, and then you
Yeah.
forget every film you've ever seen in your life.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
Have you ever thought about it?
I haven't really
Yeah.
thought about it. I feel like when I Right, so I'm like I'm like looking through my lyrics to see
No,
if
no,
there's
no,
any that are
no.
my favorite.
Fine.
But I would say maybe it's from Inhaler. In the bridge is um there's a few lines, but the bridge is, and I'm terrified of dying, but I'm more petrified of trying, and I don't know when I became so disgusted by feeling. I think
Yeah,
the I don't know when I became so disgusted by feeling is
that's a striking
it's
kind of
one of those it's
term.
one of those ones where I when I write songs a lot of the time I'm just, I'm at my keyboard or I've just got my guitar and I'm just kind of workshopping stuff and looping a section until I do it. And I think that was one of them where I went, that was that was a bit too close to home. And it's like it's weird. Obviously I'm writing stuff about my own experiences. So of course it's gonna hit close to home, but it's still sometimes I'm like, oh God, I need to step away for a bit because that was a bit too much. I find I always have a phase after writing a song where I kind of have to sit with it and play it, and or like if I have a demo I have to listen to the demo a bunch to almost desensitize myself from what it's
Yeah,
talking about. Yeah. Because sometimes they're rough, sometimes they're kind of brutal.
kind of brutal. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it's always brutal. Being a songwriter and like writing your own feelings out, and then you release the songs, and then the songs go to the world, and it belongs to them, I guess,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing, isn't it? Like, but people must like, let's go live kind of stuff. You perform live many times, and like, do people sing the words back? And like, what do you feel when that happens?
Sometimes they do. I can't really describe it. But when I think about it, the time that comes to mind is in my first year of uni, after I'd written Inhaler
Mm,
and I played at open mics and things. And then actually it was a gig with Iguanas on the Floor where we got an encore and we were like, shit, we don't have any other songs. And Ethan was like, okay, what if we just play Inhaler? Because, it's mostly four chords.
yeah,
It's a fairly simple drum beat. Like, we can just do this. And as well, like obviously it's all my friends in the band, so they all
mm,
knew the song. So they were like, yeah, fuck it, let's just do Inhaler. And it was so much fun, but it was also amazing because it kind of took me a second and then I realized that the crowd was singing it back.
yeah,
And, it's like the first few gigs you do as a band, obviously it's all, friends and family and like people that you've met the day before and you've said, come on down to the gig. And yeah, so just as well, seeing how invested my friends and family were in my songwriting and in, my prospective career, it was brilliant. And it really gave me a boost and was like, okay, yeah, no, I can do this. I can do this songwriting thing because clearly it's connected with these people. So now it's just like at the next gig, just bring a friend and then I can connect with
yeah,
them too. And then it's just
yeah.
that's the trajectory we're on.
Honestly, it's great when somebody sings your lyrics and stuff, but also like they actually kind of have their own interpretation about things, but they still understand like you're coming from some kind of so you do talk about your songs like before you sing your song, like, oh, this is a song about this and that and whatever.
I sometimes do. I sometimes Yeah, but like as you said, it's like once they're released, which I only have 3 songs released, but like once they're released,
Yeah.
it does kind of belong to other people then. So I suppose it feels more like I have one interpretation of my lyrics, but other people might have another, and that's
Hmm.
that's okay. I can
Yeah.
I can do like the written explanation of what I think a song is about, but someone else might go, no, 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 that's so clearly about this. And like, who am I to disagree with them? It's not my song anymore. It's in the ether.
Yeah, so yeah. Oh, have you ever received like um any kind of compliment or something like that somebody said to you, who's not your friend, who's not your family, who's just listening to us like, oh my god, this is this and that.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, I feel like a lot of the stuff that's coming to mind is from like a couple of years ago. But yeah, I mean, one of the kind of first compliments I remember of someone that wasn't my friends or family, or was like close enough to be biased, I suppose,
Yeah.
was in my sixth form. I entered for this like young musician award with a song that I wrote, and it was I ended up winning, and they had like a kind of recording that there was like kind of like a podcast, I suppose, where they listened through and then
Yeah.
they judged, and then they decided the winner. And I remember there was a woman who described my voice as velvet. And just like it's just like just like soft and like smooth like velvet, and I was like, oh, I will take that. I will take that and run. And as well, I mean, I was what, like 17 or 18, so as well, hearing that then, I was like, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is good. This is good." It was a really,
Yeah.
really good boost of going, "Okay, that's someone who isn't my mum saying that I have a nice singing voice. That's good." It's
That's great. Yeah.
great.
No, honestly, like when I listen, it's on my playlist. I mean, come on, it's a great song. All the songs are great. Like 3 songs, and like you really want to release something bigger, don't you? You really want to do something that just
Yeah.
knocks people
I
off or something.
I wanna do so much. Um, yeah, I mean, as well, like, I write a lot quicker than I record. Um,
Yeah, of course.
so, like, I've got the next 2 EPs written and done.
Crazy. You're mad.
Not recorded. They're
No,
written.
no, written.
And
Yeah.
like 80% of them are demoed up, like ready to go to the studio. It's just studio time is kind of expensive, and
Yeah.
it's difficult as well with having the time, and then especially post graduating, like finding
Yeah.
musicians um that are also available when I'm available, and then when the studio's available. So it's like so many different pieces have to fit together now. Whereas in
Yeah.
uni, it was just like, do you want to stay up till 5 a.m., hang out in the studio at uni and make something?
Yeah.
That was
Exactly.
how a lot of shit got done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you, oh, man. Oh, would you ever? Well, I don't know how to kind of word this, but will it always be Eve Orion or Eve and the Night Owls? Like, how are you gonna promote yourself? Like, you do say like, yeah, it's a solo thing, but would you
Yeah.
just say, yeah? How would you do it like in the future?
So how it works right now is
Mm,
see, because Casey and Viara are their own musicians in their own respect, and they have other projects
yeah,
and things. So basically, how it works is the Night Owls is a backing band.
yeah,
It's my music and my songs that I write and I bring to the band. So how we kind of have it work, because we sometimes have such conflicting schedules. Basically, when I book a gig, they're the first people I go to see if they're free to play it. If they're not, then I ask other people, and they are the night owls for a night, you know?
yeah,
Casey and Viara are my go-to instrumentalists. They're fantastic. Yeah, and so I suppose it's Eva Rin and the Night Owls as well, so that I can clarify when a gig is solo and when a gig is the band, because I still do a lot of
yeah,
gigs solo.
yeah,
Like the first fundraising gig on the 22nd of May, that's a solo gig. So I'm playing that by myself. Whereas the 28th of May and the 7th of June is Eva Rin and the Night Owls. And that's because that's a band gig. So that's kind of how I try to distinguish that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in my brain, in my brain, in my in my brain, it's just the word concept. Just you know, the word concept just comes into my brain. Like it's just this is a concept, and like you're living a concept. I don't know what other word can I say. Like it's it's so great. Nobody does that. To be fair, because I mean it is because of the circumstance. But to be fair, that's a very good idea. To be fair,
Yeah, I feel like it's, like depths and depping in for
yeah,
people isn't necessarily a new concept. And it's like, as well, if I manage to book a gig somewhere, I usually, how the conversation goes is I message our group chat, I say, "Are you guys free?" And then either they say yes or they say no. And then they're like, but don't turn down the gig just because we're not free. Like,
Yeah.
plenty of drummers and bassists who are good enough to do the gig. So it's, and who would want to do the gig. And like, so yeah, so I suppose it's like, it's just always Casey and Viara have dibs on gigs, always.
Yeah.
And then it's only in a case if they're not available that I go looking.
Yeah. Which is that's just how it is.
Mhm.
And musicians and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, I mean, it's an interchangeable thing, isn't it? It's just there to exist, and that you can always call them night halls. If promotion in the future requires you to have just your name, and then you come to a gig, it's like, okay, these are my night owls.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
how
that's
I
kind
do
of
it.
what it is.
Yeah, I've done gigs before where, one or both of them haven't been able to make it. So I played my music with other people. Uh,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, as well, it gives me an opportunity to like, you know, I suppose shout out other musicians.
Yeah.
Because quite often, like when I'm playing with the Night Owls, at some point I do say, "Hey, this is Casey on bass. She's got an amazing band called Ugly Jumper, and Viara behind me has fucking loads of shit going on. She is booked and
Yeah.
busy, and you should get in touch with her while you can." It's like because as well, like all of the musicians actually that I work with, like they're my friends. I'm friends with them, and anytime I get any opportunity, I want to drag at least 5 people with me.
Of course you
And
do.
see if they can get something out of it too. Yeah.
You know what? We leave it there. And like, no, it's such a good thing, isn't it? Like, especially now when it's the industry is so like convoluted and that kind of thing. Like, I mean, would you say when I ask this question about content stuff, like social media and stuff, does that help a lot in terms of like um because everybody needs to grow kind of their own thing online now, like even this podcast, yeah. Even this podcast, yeah. I remember the days when I first started. Crazy. So tough to even get an idea.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
as well, it's the struggle of trying to turn someone who might just like your reels or TikToks into someone who will go and find your music, and if they're in the
Yeah.
area, will go to a gig. And I found that although social media is important now for cultivating an audience, I find that I'm not getting many people coming to gigs from social media. I think I've only ever had like 1 or 2 maybe that say, "I've come to this gig because I found you on Instagram."
Yeah.
Or I found you on TikTok. It's not a huge amount of people. There are more people who see a poster around town and go, "Oh yeah, I'll go to that," or who are just looking for live music one night and stumble into the Jacaranda or something. And more people who hear from a friend and stuff like that. I felt it myself, quite a lot of fear around social media about
Yeah.
what it means to serve an algorithm that doesn't care about you rather
Yeah.
than trying to find people. But I found that there's still very much a human element in getting people involved in your music. And that this fundraiser has actually shown me that more than anything, because I've had so many more people message me because they've heard about this fundraiser from whatever channel to say, "Hey, how can I help?" Which is great because it means raising money for War Child, but it's also like it's a huge opportunity for me as an artist and a songwriter. Um, so to have people invested in my career at the early stage that it's at, it means the world.
And it's so hard. I mean, you've been doing it for a while, but it's so hard to kind of promote that kind of thing, even
Yeah.
like starting out and you're not like established yet and like,
Yeah, as well, the progress is never linear. Like
oh yeah.
I've been writing songs since I was 10 or 11. I've been performing live since I was 13. I've been getting paid for it since I was 14. And it's never just, yeah, it's never just a straight line up to the top. It's always, getting shot down and then getting back up again, and then maybe you get a little bit of a boost and then it gets dropped
Yeah.
again, and it's like, it's such a weird lifestyle to have.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, on the one hand, I have this fundraiser coming up and it's great, and there's, so many opportunities on the horizon, and getting gigs and things, and on the other hand, it's like I'm quite often struggling for work and struggling for gigs, and it's just this striking this balance that is just a part of being a musician, and it's just
Yeah.
a part of daily life when you choose a creative career.
Yeah. Of course. And like my question would be how important is self-belief in yourself? Because sometimes you just don't have the feeling of that, you know?
It's everything, and it's such a weird balance. There's an artist I know called Maya Rowan, and we were talking about this once, where she was saying about how it's so weird having imposter syndrome
Mm.
as a recording and releasing artist, because it's like, obviously you believe in yourself a certain amount because
Mm.
you're still recording and releasing the music. You clearly think it's good enough to make a permanent version of. But at the same time, you have this voice in your head going, no, 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 it's all shit. Everything
Yeah.
you're making, utter crap. But then at the same time, you still go to the studio and you still pay that money to invest in yourself and your career.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's just this really weird cognitive dissonance, where on the one hand you don't believe in yourself at all, and on the other hand you do, because you're
Yeah.
going for it.
Yeah. Said it right, you know? Say it right. We need help, okay? Uh, yeah, I mean, the conversation's been so deep so far, like, you've opened up about so many things that we wouldn't be able to do in a 20-minute episode, you know? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and I hope that the podcast helped you a bit to kind of, like, make your opinions heard, or, like, your feelings get out of your head. Like, I know you have so
Yeah.
many other things, but, you know? I mean, yeah, this the world's crazy.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, you must feel so lucky to have, like, your boyfriend and your band and everybody else who knows you personally, who,
I
like, supports you.
I have a fantastic support network, and I'm grateful for it every day.
Yeah,
But like, I come from a family of musicians as well, so it's nice whenever I hit a roadblock, I can call someone up and they go, I know exactly what you're
mm,
feeling. I know exactly what's going on. I've been there and I got through it, and that's just what you have to
yeah,
do. Take a
yeah,
night, wallow, be upset about it, and then get up in the
yeah,
morning and carry on.
yeah, of course. That's what it is. So, I've never felt well, I haven't felt tired of doing it. No, I did once with a friend of mine I wanted to interview, and I was like, "I'm just feeling so burnt out today. Can we do it tomorrow?"
Yeah. The burnout is
Uh,
insane, 'cause I had to really look at it recently, and look at how much I was working, because so much of my work right now is
yeah,
unpaid. And I
yeah,
know that, there's a bit of me that's like, okay, but at some point I do all this work, and then at some point paid work comes along. That's the gigging lifestyle. It's fine.
yes,
So then I was kinda like, well, then it makes sense that the more unpaid work I do, the more paid work I will get in the future. But then it just meant that I was working every single day for about 2 weeks, and I just wasn't taking any time off. I wasn't catching up on sleep from early start, and I just totally ran myself into the ground, and then was suddenly like, "Why am I so tired? That's so
yeah.
weird.
Why?
That's so weird." And then, like, my friends and my boyfriend were like, "Because you need to take a fucking chill pill." Like, the world will not stop turning if you go to the park for a day. It's like, I'm I don't in any way compare what I do for work to what other people do for work. Like, I know nurses, I know teachers, I know bartenders doing, like, late shifts and long shifts, and,
Yeah,
every career has its own setbacks. But I think the thing with music is you have to keep doing, you have to keep jumping on each opportunity as it comes. And if that means pulling an all-nighter and then getting up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning to go and do a bartending shift at a pub that opens at 9, like
Yeah.
that's how it works. And I find that a lot of my friends that are musicians are in the same spot, whether they've got loads of paid work coming in or whether they've got nothing. Everybody's in the same boat, which is nice, and then also kind of sad when
Yeah.
you think about what that means in the industry and that it's not exactly the most rewarding one to go into.
But when it works, it's absolutely the most rewarding thing that could
That's the
happen to
thing,
you.
and that's like
And it
that's what so many of us just cling on to is like,
yeah.
"Okay, but when I do get that, it's gonna be amazing." And, that's part of the that's part of the deal that we accept when we decide to do creative careers is
Yeah.
that you're gonna be really fucking tired all the time, and it's gonna be amazing, and then it's gonna be really shit, and then it's gonna be amazing again, and then it's gonna be shit,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna be like, "I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from," and then you go, "Oh, I'm so fine for the rest of the month." And then the
Yeah.
next month comes around and then you're like, "Actually, I've got no work this month." And then that's just how it works. It's just going
Yeah.
round and round in that circle for the rest of your life.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, fulfillment is one thing, isn't it? Being good. And talking about fulfillment, can I talk about it? About the things you're recording?
Yeah, yeah,
No.
absolutely.
Yeah? Okay, so we were chatting literally like, I don't know, an hour ago, and I was like, "Yeah, we were both late as well, like, I was running back late, and then she was like, "I'm recording something," and we are late too. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess it's a kinda introduction to 2 new singles that you're gonna
Yeah,
be making.
absolutely. Um, yeah, they're 2 songs. I've played them live at gigs before.
Mhm.
One is called Wrong Time, and the other is called Hometown Bends. Um, Wrong Time, we started recording about a year ago, at uni, and it was like my lovely friend Mina Mai, she's co-produced it, and we started recording it for her production assignment. Yeah, and then she's after graduating, she's moved back to Norway, so now I'm kind of finishing it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and that's been, over the last year, just because again, we had it pretty much finished. And then I had a few things I wanted to re-record. And obviously Mina moved to Norway. And then, everyone got super busy over the summer. And then it's just been really hard to find a time to finish it. But now that song is at a point where it just needs some saxophone
Yes.
recorded by the absolutely wonderful Ben Keating. And so we'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks, and then it just needs a mix and a master, and then that one's done, and I'm hoping that will be July is when that will come
Yeah.
out, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
And then the second one was another deal where I got kind of cheaper studio time because I got in contact and said, "Hey, have you got any, like, days in the next week or so that you need filling in?" And so they waived the VAT as well because we went to the same uni. So I was like, "Hey, did you go to this uni?"
Yeah. Perks.
Yeah, and Rich was so lovely and was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Here you go. There's this day." And so that was in October, I think, and we recorded drums and piano and some synths and an omnichord as well. There was an
Ooh,
omnichord in there.
only chords.
Yeah, which sounds great. It sounds amazing. It sounds so cool. And then the other day we recorded bass. We finally got into the swing of recording this one because we'd spent so much time on Wrong Time that we were kind of beginning to hate it. And we were like, "Okay, I need to take a break from that. Let's work on the other one that we've got half recorded." So yeah, there's me and Luna Simpson, who is my lovely sound engineer. She's fantastic. And yeah, so the other day we recorded bass. Today we were recording guitars, and yeah, we ran over a bit. and I knew I still needed to walk 20 minutes back to my flat.
Oh,
So I was so relieved when you messaged and was like, I'm running a few minutes late. I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't need to like sprint and turn this 20-minute walk
yeah.
into a 5 minute
Don't
walk.
sprint. Don't
I can
sprint.
do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. I'm hoping that that will come out in September if all goes according to plan, and then that will kind of wrap up an era of songwriting for me. Because yeah, from the 3 songs that I've released and these 2 that are coming up, were all kind of written around when I was 18, and you know I'm 22 now, and I feel like I'm in a totally different phase in terms of songwriting and what I'm doing with the band now. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing these songs and having them out in the ether, not mine anymore. And then, you know, wrapping that up into, you know, a 5-song EP. And it's like, okay, these are all the songs I created when I was like 18 or 19. There's that phase of my life that's done. And now I can move on to the next one.
Yeah. Is there an ideal world, like, before I give my thoughts, is there an ideal world where you just have a few days to just record everything with your band and,
I would love that. Yeah, it's one of those I need to start dipping my toe into the world of funding.
yes.
Because I would just love to book a studio out for, like, a week and
Yeah.
record, like, 3 or 4 songs, you know, another EP, and just record an EP and yeah, that would be amazing. I did this kind of songwriting camp before Christmas with the Lymph Academy in Liverpool and the Ivors Academy. Um at Kempston Street, which is actually the same place that I recorded piano, drums, and synths for Hometown Burns. And yeah, for that, I think we were in 9 or 10 till 6 every day for 3 days on one week and 2 days on the other. And I just loved it. I just
Yeah.
loved that it was like I was working a 9 to 5 and you know, I was going in and spending a full day songwriting with these amazing women and then you know, going home and I was tired, but it was like it was like a physically tired rather than
Yes.
emotionally tired. Like emotionally, mentally, I was like so amped up. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I was like,
Yeah.
why have my arms stopped working? I'm so tired. But
Yeah.
it was amazing. So no, I would love to go and record an EP in like a week or something and just work on a new song every day and just have all that time. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is a mini retreat, that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a retreat from all this. Well, I hope people who are funders in the industry can watch this episode and kind of find you.
They
Thank
should listen
you.
to this episode. Get in touch.
I mean, yeah, I was just thinking like the usual stuff, like I post the announcement thing, but for you, like because of your fundraiser stuff and everything, I want it to be one singular post. Talks about you and then talks about the thing as well. So like that will help with funding.
That'd be
I
good.
think. I I think that'll be fun. Great. All right. Quick fire questions. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Most emotional song you've written or wish you've written.
The most emotional song I've written is one that is not released anywhere. It's called Swings and Roundabouts, and I wrote it back in October when one of my best friend's mum died
Oh,
very
okay.
suddenly. And I just poured everything into this song. But I play it at gigs sometimes, but it's kind of rocks me a bit every time I do.
It's kind of deep. Okay.
I have to pull back a bit sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Favorite song to perform live?
Crying Wolf,
There you go. Yeah,
definitely.
I would say the same thing. I love the song. Too bit. Dream collaboration. People who work to work with.
I have looked up to her and loved her
Yeah,
music
Jodie.
since I was about 13, and she still influences my songwriting so much. Like, whenever she goes through, like, a little jazzy phase, I go through a jazzy phase. When
Good jazzy
a
face,
little bit
yeah.
folk rock moment, I do a folk that is just I always follow in her footsteps. I do.
Yeah. Nah, I grew up with her as well, so yeah. crazy. Jazz phase, folk phase. Like she goes through everything. Like, crazy.
He does. I love it. I love it
Yeah,
completely.
it goes through everything. Festival crowd or intimate venue.
I would say intimate venue. I think it's scarier because you can see people reacting to it, but I think that's what makes it so good is you can
Yeah.
see when, like, I'll sing a lyric and I can see someone go, I can see someone react to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I take it as the biggest compliment when I make someone cry, which might sound awful, but
No, you're not the
like,
first person to say it.
I
So
love making people cry. Love it. Can't get enough yet with my songs. Yeah. Then I feel like, okay, that's someone that's really connected to that
yeah, yeah.
in the way that I think I did when I was songwriting.
That's a good question then. Sometimes you're performing live, and does it sound more emotional performing it live, or when you're or when you like people listen to it on the song?
Think I think it's more emotional for me when I perform it live
Yeah,
because then it's kind of like every version I play is slightly different. Whereas the studio version stays the same, which is nice in its own way where it's like it's captured a moment there. How I felt about the song at that specific time I was recording it. Whereas, I find that playing these songs over and over again, like the meanings for me change all the time.
yeah,
Yeah, because, I'll have a rough week and I will feel Crying Wolf more than ever. And then other days, I'm kind of like, well, Crying Wolf is kind of a celebration in going, everything's falling apart and I'm still here.
yeah,
Yeah, so it changes. Yeah, I feel like the meaning
yeah.
changes
Sure.
whenever I play it.
Good. If you were not a music artist, what would you be?
I would be either an author or an astrophysicist.
Wow, that was very random.
I loved physics. I did most of a physics A level.
Yeah.
But because
Okay.
I wanted to learn about space
Yeah.
and I was fascinated by it. But the space module was right at the end of the second year and I was doing 4 A levels, which is kind of the maximum you can do. And I was just
Yeah.
exhausted. So I was like, I learned about space and then I dropped it because I didn't want to do. But there was also a point, because I ended up going to uni to do music, but there was kind of a bit of time where I didn't really realize that was an option.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I have to do a real degree. I have to do I have to do a real one." And so there was a point I was looking at physics, and I was looking at specifically astrophysics with a European language
Yeah.
to do Spanish as well. And then author, I wanted to be an author since I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I was always writing stories. Yeah, but now I kind of storytell, but through songs, so it's not that
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. Well, it's not that far away. Well, physics is far away, but yeah.
Physics is far away.
No, we could actually write a song about it. I wanted to be an astrophysicist.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
something crazy like that.
yeah. I have a friend who I'm actually going to one of their gigs tonight in Manchester because they did Catherine Bullock, they did 2 degrees. 'Cause they're from New
Okay.
Zealand, and they
Yeah.
let you do 2 degrees at once in New Zealand, so they did physics and music, and so a lot of their songwriting interlaces with astronomy and physics, and so they've been asked to do a talk for a festival in Manchester called A Pint of Science, I think it's called, and so they're doing
Of
a talk
science.
about how they interlock physics and music, so that is my plan for the evening. I'm very excited for it.
Oh, is it this evening?
It
Okay.
is this
Oh,
evening.
I love space and the moon landing. The moon kind of thing that just happened was the
Oh,
thing that
yeah, Artemis
I
2.
watched for days and days and days.
It makes me emotional. It makes me emotional, I won't lie.
Honest to
I
God, I
love
love physics as well. That was my number one subject. If I were not a person who did real estate, I would do if I was smarter, okay? If I was smarter, I would do physics, astrophysics, and something
yeah,
crazy like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please send them over to me and I'll kinda investigate.
I will. They've got I think they've got some stuff coming out soon as well.
Okay, yeah. But this today is all about you and the fundraiser stuff. I hope, yeah. Yeah, see what I did there. Yeah, I'm laughing. Right. Okay. I mean, to end the whole thing, like it's just the fundraiser thing and everything. What do you hope from that coming out? Like, what do you hope for that to be impact for your life, and your music career, and everything else, and for what, and for the cause as well?
Yeah, I hope, I mean, I hope that we'll raise some money, and I hope that, we will kind of spread the word a bit about what War Child is doing. Um, like I've said before, if I think it's very easy to feel very helpless about everything that's
Yeah.
going on in the world because everything is happening on such a big scale, and it's like,
Mm.
it's not necessarily, sometimes it is just one person, but a lot of the times it's like it's countries, and it's complicated dynamics, and it's companies, and it's things that are kind of out of reach for what an ordinary person can do. So I kind of I hope that it will give a bit of hope, the fundraiser, to, even if people go to one of the gigs, or just, kind of follow along online and just see how many people have contributed, and how many people have wanted to contribute, even if they can't contribute financially, have wanted to contribute in other ways and contribute their skills and their trades to help me pull this off. Um, yeah, yeah. And I mean, obviously, I hope that it will help my music reach people that it might not have, through Hot Vox and War Child. But yeah, I think primarily I wanna spread a bit of hope that not everything is doom and gloom, but also that you can make a lot more of a difference than you think by just deciding to go and talk to people who might have different opinions or lifestyles to you, and going and finding people who will go to a protest with you, who will have those difficult conversations, and will hold you accountable, and you'll hold them accountable, and into being the best version of yourself that you can, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'll be protesting the way I say your name, for years to come. Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate your time, and
Thank you so much
absolutely,
for having me.
this has been a blast. Thank you very much.